sound all good. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Show Me the Money Week 11 review and Week 12 preview. We're heading into the rounds of divisional games again, and I'm being joined by the 2026 Show Me the Money favourite. Good evening, Mr. Baxter. How are you?
Good evening, Craig. From one favourite to another,
From one
eh?
favourite to another.
Yeah, all good here. It's obviously I've missed the last 3 weeks worth of reviews.
3 weeks
Is it
worth,
three?
yes.
Roughly three. Anyway, all I'm doing is winning since in the last couple of weeks. So it's all good in my world. I'm back in the hunt. Uh,
Do you know what the thing is? Do you know what the irony of it is? It's amazing how often it happens that you sell your soul and
I
then you
know.
start winning, you know?
I know. Well, what I mean, yeah, it's got coming from nowhere. But I mean, the one thing it does show about fantasy football, you get to this time of year and just random players start winning matches and leagues for people. It's happening year after year now, all the time.
Absolutely, it's something that hankers on me every year. You know, a good start's not always a good thing. You know, come the end, and there's going to be an example shown tonight that will show just how fickle fantasy football is from one week to the next. You know,
Absolutely.
when we get to straight out of Hampton's game, we will see exactly how fickle fantasy football can be. But yeah, it's been a different 3 weeks. You've been on the sale for your 3 weeks. You have loaded up for next year.
I have sold out
Almost back in, but
fully, utterly
as you
sold
say,
out.
back in it though. Back in it all the same.
Yeah, but I mean, unfortunately, I just run into. I mean, apart from me, obviously not having a good season, but the North is the strongest team in the league by a distance. And
Yeah.
now I've got now I've got to go through the three of you again. So yeah, it's difficult. O to be in a couple of those other divisions, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's so very, 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 very tight, though, isn't it? There's only about 4 teams with losing records. Is that what it?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Six
yes,
teams.
it's quite It feels more lopsided than normal, but it's so tight. We say this every year, but it is so tight. Uh, and it is going to come down to the final week, clearly, and probably people will be in and out the playoffs two or three times that are round about that 50-50 mark.
I mean, 7-7. It looks to me like 7-7's going to get in. The trouble is, I think 7-7's going to get in, and 7-7's going to go out. You
Yeah,
know, and that's so it's all about points scored when it gets to that stage. But yeah, I mean, everyone apart from Alan's Kirkwall Raiders and Aaron's sacked in the morning, they're both 3-8 and dead now. You know, 6-8's not going to do it. But everyone else has still got a fighting chance, a puncher's chance anyway.
no, absolutely. Even look at Alan,
Including the
he's
boobies.
including the boobies. Yeah, I mean, I obviously tucked them away. I didn't want that in my conscience. I mean, some other teams obviously lost to him, but I wasn't for having that.
Fair, fair. I will agree that the boobies is one of my three losses. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's very little I can poke fun at you about this season. Uh, you've
Well,
even the fact that you've gone totally all in. I would have done the same. I as soon as I saw Alan putting CD Lamb on the block, I mean, I put in an offer for him, and I withdrew it because I thought, what am I doing? Uh, I said he's going to Craig. I just knew that you would clearly offer the most, and why wouldn't you? So it's a bit like obviously the Packers and Micah Parsons. You've set yourself up there. Fair play to you. Hopefully you do better than the Packers are.
well, the Packers are doing fine, but yeah, it's very much when it came up. I put my offer in. and then I put my offer in, and then I messaged him behind it, and I said, "Do not sell without coming to me first."
I bet you
if,
did.
if, if that's not enough, come back to me. I said, but I have went big, so I'm not giving much more. But do not, I better not see CD Lamb sold without me getting to counter.
And did he
Then
come
he came
back and
back and
did he make you give a bit more?
he did. He did. He made me
Aye,
give a
quite
little
right.
bit more, but he didn't
Yeah.
push it. He didn't push it. He made me give a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what it was that I'd offered it. I think
She made believe, but anyway.
he got a wee bit more out of me in the end, and the deal was that he was giving me back a fifth, and he put it as a fifth, but I'm at my badminton, so I'm not paying much attention. I'm assuming it's his fifth, you know. I'm forgetting he's got Sean's fifth, you know. So it became a very late fifth instead of a very early fifth. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. To be honest, I was going to take whatever he said because I think that could be the difference between making it and not. And I'm quite happy now that that Dallas got that win at the weekend there, and it kind of it keeps them interested in the playoff hunt, and the last thing I wanted to do was see Dallas go on even if CD Lamb was doing well, Dallas to go on a 2 or 3, 4 game losing streak and be out the playoffs, heading into our playoffs, that would have been a disaster. But
No,
it
yeah,
looks like
absolutely.
they're
You're
going to be in it.
you're stacked, mate. Unfortunately, but I think the even bigger thing is I don't think anyone else is stacked. I don't.
No,
You can get beaten. Clearly, you can get beaten at any given Sunday, and that's absolutely can happen. But I, the other teams that are doing well, they're running into a couple of issues as well. So it's worrying.
yeah. And I mean, after this week, I get Achan's on bye this week, but after this week in Bo Nix, but after this week, I think that's me through all my bye, everything done, so it's just about fitness. But every one of my squad's fit now, and stealing, taking Jennings off you right at the death there, at the death of the. That just gives me that wee bit of backup if I need it. Should I need it? If I pick up an
Happy
injury,
to,
that's someone that can come in
happy
and
to
cover.
contribute to your cause. I'm a good friend.
Very kind of you and all that. But yeah, week 11, it was a big week. Have we got the screen there, Johnny? Wonderful. So let's start up in our division. Why not? Well, why don't we start with my good self and the Show Me the Packers beating the Coping Badly Jets 85.66 to 62.26. It doesn't really tell the story of the week because I'm not being funny. I was starting to panic a little bit at one point of it. I went with Matt Collins and with my bye weeks, I took a swing with Matt Collins on Thursday night, and it didn't really work out with 6.4 points. So yeah, I was a wee bit panicked coming into the weekend, and Mark got a good run with Bejan. Was that an earlier game? Can't
It
remember.
was because
But
you messaged at one point about how you were going to lose to Bijan on his own, and just the usual.
well, it
So it was
wasn't
early
it
on.
wasn't looking great. But yeah, I managed to do enough. At the end of the day, Mark's team just didn't do enough. It was more that Mark's team didn't do enough than I did do enough. Darnold let him down big time, 4 interceptions. That wasn't good. Mercado injured. Cup done nothing. Johnson got a complete goose egg. McManus, he left the kicker McManus in, even though he didn't play. And and Chargers got him 0. So it was a game that I thought I was going. I thought at one point I was going to lose it, but I've won it quite comfortably. And at 8-3 now, I mean the number one seed doesn't overly bother me. I've got to say it's almost a curse in this league. I'd be quite happy for someone to pass me, but certainly it secures my playoff place before I have to go through our division again. So quite happy with that. And for Mark at 5 and 6, I mean he's in the hunt. He's there. He's in there. But what are you thinking of this squad?
Well, I mean, from your point of view, you got 85 points with Taylor and Warren on their bye.
I
So
did. And
there's
Kamara.
nothing, nothing coming over you. You've got Devontae Adams is getting in the end zone just about every week. CD Lamb's going to keep getting points, and you've got two great running backs. So you're laughing, Mark. To be honest, when you run down it, it's not that great. It's not that great. He's got this problem where he can only play one of his tight ends, T. Higgins will do well next week because Jamar Chase is out. He's got what's he got? He's got nothing at running back alongside Bijan. So he's because Demercado's has he not gone to IR?
Di Mercado, I mean, I know. I think he's just out. I
He's
don't know
maybe
that. I
just
don't
out,
know that he's going.
but he's
Garrett
literally.
Wilson's on IR. Garrett
Oh, he's
Wilson's
got
on
Kareem.
IR.
Sorry, he's got Kareem Hunt. I'm not actually sure why. I don't know why he's not playing him actually. Um,
I would I would have played Di Mercado over Hunt this week. I mean, you don't know he's going to get
no,
injured, and he did seem to be getting a lot of work in Arizona,
I
especially in the
bet
catching game. And with
Hunt's getting all the work at the minute.
but yeah,
Um,
I'm very comfortable, and Mark's very much in the chase. You know, he's kind of sitting with three quarterbacks. Why is he sitting with three quarterbacks?
Because
It
it's
just makes
Mark.
he's sitting with three quarterbacks, and he's got Garrett Wilson on his bench instead of his IR. I just don't understand it.
It's because it's Mark. He just does things differently. That's why we love
He
him.
does. He does. He does. He's certainly got his own way of playing the game. That's for sure. Because Joe Burrow sitting on my IR was sitting on his IR not too long ago. You know,
Yeah.
and I would absolutely love it if Burrow comes back and for the playoffs and wins it for me. That would be wonderful. You know.
Yeah, no, well, just be careful though. I'm telling you, that bringing in a quarterback can trip you up in the playoffs, as I've found out with Mahomes. So, uh, you've
Well,
got a
it can set.
you've got quarterback decisions to make each week now, and it could tie you in knots.
It can a little bit. Do you know what the biggest problem there as well is? So I mean, as bad as Jordan Love's been this year, and he's been bad. There's no getting away from it. He's been bad, but he does score points still. You know,
Yeah,
he gets you your 15, 20, to 20 plus points each week. And Bo Nix has been, you know, you called it. He was like the number two quarterback scoring quarterback not that long ago, but he has his really bad weeks as well. So
it
my big
does.
issue when Burrow comes back is which one of them gets chucked. I wouldn't. The last thing I want to do is put one of them on into the agency, and then they come back and they beat me in the playoffs. You know, that's why I'm still holding both. That's why I'm still holding both. I've not made a decision on them. But if Joe Burrow comes back, I will not sit with three quarterbacks. One of them will
So,
hit agency.
so if you did Jordan Love, you take so he's got in the what's the playoff weeks 15, 16, 17. He's at
14,
Denver. He's at
15.
Chicago.
Yeah,
He's at Denver, Chicago, and Baltimore. I mean,
it's a
oof,
very difficult run. But
you know
Bo
that's
Nix's isn't much better.
he's got no he's got the Packers, the Jags, and the Chiefs.
Chiefs and Arrowhead as well, though. That's
Arrowhead,
the thing,
yeah.
you know. It's Chiefs at Arrowhead, so you know his isn't much better for this. So I would much rather, you know, if Burrow comes back, Burrow is an auto starter because his
Oh,
the
you've got
games that
Miami
he's
and
got in the,
Arizona.
you know, Baltimore, Miami, Arizona. That's very, very winnable. You know, that's very scoreable there. So let's hope he comes back and he gives me a wee run. That would be that would be most helpful. But yeah, that
Groty's
was
Groty's just
show me
saying
the
Ray
path.
sent Ayuk to waivers, but I mean Ayuk.
Ayuk.
I don't think Ayuk will play for the 49ers again.
I certainly don't think he'll play this season, that's for sure. But there's something not good. There's something going on there. They don't like each other. Why did the
No.
49ers even pay him? Because they don't like each other.
So I was listening to one of the Beat podcasts last week, and they were talking about that exact thing, and they were just saying they just seem to get backed into a corner for no proper reason, and they were saying how behind the scenes they're making no secret of the fact that they hate the contract, but they obviously gave him it. So I think they'll walk away in the off season,
It
and
was a strange one.
he won't want to play and risk. But then does he need to prove himself as well to get a contract elsewhere? I don't know. Well, not.
Well, he's not
He's on a
played for a
contract.
year now. He's not played for a year, so he's going to
Yeah.
have to show something, isn't he?
Anyway, I don't think anyone really will be taking him in fantasy football from waivers. I
I
mean, they
won't be
can't.
touching him. If
So
someone
do
wants to
I.
pick him up, they can, but I won't be going for him and putting him on my IR, that's for sure. Yes, and
Completely.
Baxter we trust 94.8 points,
I
beating
mean,
the Batman's boobies who gave me a bloody nose last week. 76, the usual 76 points, between 70 and 80 for Ray. And you popped up and you beat him, and it's two in a row now, Doug. What's going on? You've sold and you're
my
running.
receivers. My receivers have done away okay this season. Vidal went down, and I got nothing from him. Uh, Otherwise, I would have topped a ton. But yeah, I mean, Pinero's done well for me as a kicker, but he's obviously got injured now, so I'm having to change tact on that. Um, but yeah, I've got these receivers that kind of keep scoring, and even I've got Pierce and Booty on the bench, and they've both been scoring fine as well. Um,
Yeah.
so, aye, I'm kind of I don't know. My roster's rubbish. It really is. But and I've had to bring in Brian Robinson this week just so that I've got a running back because Vidal's on his bye and so is Rodriguez.
I've
But
seen
I
that,
think I
yeah.
obviously, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm at 94 points. It's when I get to four, it takes me from the bottom. I don't look just quite as bad. But yeah, it's pretty ropey stuff.
Your receivers are going to do you good in the consolations as well, though. I mean, with all those early draft picks that you've got, if you also bag that number one pick, that
I've
could be
got this.
massive.
I've got obviously a conundrum coming though with whether I keep neighbours or not. I guess I probably don't. But he's obviously damn good.
Well, I mean, there's going to be at least one of Jonathan Taylor, Devin Achan, or CD Lamb's going to be in the pot there. Next year they have to be because I can only keep two. So
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
you're
I would
gonna,
certainly take any of those three over Neighbours.
but you'll ditch A-Chain.
I'm not convinced. See if I go on and win it again this year, and I go back to back, and JT and Devon Achan have taken me back to back. There's no way I can drop them, man. I've got to keep them out of loyalty, if nothing else.
That's
You
fine.
know.
Drop Lamb. That'll do. Right.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's the other one. But yeah, Ray's doing what Ray does. He dropped Mayfield and brings in Geno Smith, and he's still getting his 76 points. But McCaffrey's absolutely bombing it in for him, and even when Puka has an off week like he did this week, he's still getting his 70, 80 points. So I mean, he's got as much as it's not great. He's going to be. You're going to have to beat
Well,
him in the consolations. He's not going to
he's
lie
got
down.
he's got. I mean, he's obviously back into his division. I mean, he's got that division is very tight. It's not out with the realms that he can win a couple of matches and out the last three.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, the division's there. I mean, I know that is there not one in the division that's it's a wee bit better. The thing is, they've had to run
No,
through us, haven't they? And there was
yeah,
one
no.
week that they gave us a wee bit of a bloody nose. I think they won 3 out of 1, but outside of that, the other 3 weeks of these matchups between us and them, we've murdered them basically.
Joe and Graham are both 6 and 5, and Mark's 5 and 6.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, because Joe's on a 3-game losing streak now, isn't he? So that's
Yeah,
and of course Mark's down to 5 and 6 as well. So yeah, he's only 2 games behind with 3 to go. If he beats them all, he's got a shout of
but
topping the division, and top of the
obviously
division
the
gets the playoffs spot.
obviously the way that division is set up. I mean, I can't do the maths quickly, but there's two of them going to get to. There's two of them bound to get to 7 wins, and plus.
Yeah, yeah, that's two of them should. Yeah, but he could be one of them. That's the thing. If he wins all three, he's one of them. And
Yeah,
it's not, as I say, it's not like the team's awful. He's got Franklin is capable of scoring big. Washington, you have to think, is capable of grabbing in a few if Tua can do a couple of things, and McCaffrey's just a points machine, and that's whenever in a league like this where 70 points can win you games. Getting 30 points from one player week in, week out is it's a bit of a start.
well, not completely. And even if he wants to get away from Gino, there are a couple of options, and
What, like Baker Mayfield, for example, who he was sitting on?
I don't know. I don't know what happened with that, but I mean, I would be going and getting Bryce Young the way he's shown up 2 or 3 times this
I've got
season. He's got an upside.
couple of dynasties I had to couple of dynasties I've had to start and play him in, the super flex ones that I've got him in, and yeah, he had a massive week last week. In fact, in fourth and inches, I was the top scorer this year this week with the absolute worst team ever, and it was because Bryce Young scored like stupid points. But
You know, it's
it
good.
is
It
options
happens.
for him.
Aye.
There are options there for him, but yeah, 4 and 7 teams, 2 4 and 7 teams going at it. It's going to be kind of that kind of scoring. But great win for you, and as you say, it keeps you interested. It keeps you there. It keeps you fighting for the next week anyway.
Always fighting, even when I sell out.
And then the Factory of Sadness up against Carlton Bears. Big game, both teams running well. Both teams were 6-4 at the time. Both teams running well. And the Factory does his usual, pops up 112 points and takes the win out quite comfortably. I don't really think it was ever in much danger for Sean this one. I think he was
No,
winning most of the way. But Dak piling in 31 points later on in the Monday night just pushed it all. It made it look a lot, better than what it actually was. Looking up to that point, of course, Chase only getting them 3 points and now suspended, maybe a wee bit of an issue. And it's not like our Sean, but he missed Keon Coleman.
yeah. I don't know what happened there. It obviously didn't matter. Sean this season. He's been he's been chasing his tail all
Didn't have
year in
another
trades,
one.
and he's changed his team so often with trades and this, that, and the next thing, and he's scrapping, and he's 7-4, and he's sitting on a roster that's just not as good as yours, but he's got Sean Tucker, who could potentially be a hot hand if Bucky Irving doesn't come back, although I think he's a lot closer to it.
This week.
But Tucker's probably pushed Rashad White out the way because he's lost Dobbins to IR. So I'm quite pleased that I got something for him before that happened. But yeah, he just needs to get. He's got Grote next week. He's going to make the playoffs because he's bound to beat me. So I don't think he's in any jeopardy there. But yeah, he'll be dangerous. But I don't know. Might just be a bit step too far to win it.
Well, I mean, he's only one game behind me, like you say, and it is a strong squad. So if he does run I mean, if he runs the last 3 games, he'll top the division. So that's uh, which you would think would get him the number 1 seed. But yeah, it's. I think the squad's just as good as mine. I really do. I don't think it's any softer than mine. And he's got Benson coming back off IR any day now. And when Benson comes back, he's going to take over that backfield. There's no one there to stop him with Connor out for the season.
That's true. But he will obviously have to. I was going to say he's going to have to decide who he's playing because he's got Henry, Chase Brown, Kenny Walker. So he's going to have potentially five running backs to pick three from.
It's a bit dangerous. I mean, I think Bucky will be back certainly by the playoffs. Bucky's going to be back, and I think that'll make Tucker null and void. But yeah, he's punching. He's got 4 titles, and he's looking for a fifth, and you wouldn't put it beyond him. And for Joe and his Tartan Bears, I mean, it's three losses in a row now. He's going to have to start panicking. I mean, 3 weeks ago, you'd have thought he was nailed on for the division, but now it's all very tight. And I know he's got his own division to go through. And if you look at the squads in the division, his is the strongest by a country mile. But we all know
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that much. I mean, AJ Brown's just an absolute liability for him at the moment. He really is.
yeah. As I was AJ Brown's owner for 2 or 3 years in this league, and he is frustrating as hell. But you dare drop him.
Well, you can't. That's the thing.
But Smith looks to be their top receiver now. He's outscoring Brown most weeks.
Most
That's a good roster. He's got Amon Ra, he's got Cook, he's got Mahomes. He's going to be in the playoffs with that, and he's going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
It's certainly. I would be quite happy if Joe was somehow not to make the playoffs, and because that means that someone else is coming in from that division, and yeah, it's not going to be as good a squad as that. So it's but 3 losses. He's got to stop that. He's got to stop that losing streak, and he's got to stop it this week. Because if he loses again this week and he goes 6-6, he'll likely be tied at the top of that division. And at that point, you're
It's risky.
it's very risky with 2 weeks to go. But he's still favourite. It's comfortably favourite for the division. And then finally, and our finally in the North versus West, I think it is. It's Farts Flying Eagles 65.5. Sorry, Grotty. Varsity Blues changed my life 65.12. I mean, we have games like this all the time in this league, but they don't tend to be that low scoring, So it was Baker when inexplicably dropped to agency. Grote managed to get Baker, and he's done him okay this week. He's got Daniels out, but he's got Bucket to come back, he's got Slate to come back, he's got Olave to come back. So this is just that I'm 7-4, wipe it off, and then move on. As you say, he's got to play you yet, so you've got to think that gets him his 8th win and puts him in the playoffs pretty comfortably.
Should be fine. He's going to lose Drake London, although London's trying to claim that he's only going to be out for a week, which I'm slightly surprised at if it's a PCL injury. But he needs London. I would say he needs London. London and Olave and Booker, that's 3 good receivers. But I could be wrong. I'm just going to check. Is Booker still? Oh no, he did all right in week 10, but he's not. I sold him at the right time. I think he's not just been quite catching as many balls. He's getting targets. He's just not quite catching as many. But having said that, he doesn't have anyone to worry about in terms of Evans and Godwin. So sure he'll be fine.
No, not at the moment. Do you not worry with Drake London that it's Cousins now? I mean, Cousins has been
that definitely can't help him. He's also his running backs they appear to have a little bit of a ceiling. Warren and Judkins don't appear to be guys that are going to get you the big points of a week. So he needs Bucky.
He needs Bucky back. I would agree he needs Bucky back for sure. Gainwell seems to be doing well in Pittsburgh every time he gets his chance. So you have to think that he's going to get more off Warren, especially when they're in the playoff chase.
What he could have done with doing possibly was trading one of these receivers for a back. But anyway, it's too late.
Yes. Too late now. Can't be trading window is slammed firmly shut. There will be no trading now. And it's and Graham, he's Flying Eagles. This is a big one for Graham to win. It puts him 6-5. It puts him tied at the top with Joe and his Tartan Bears. And when you can win with 65 points, that's always a good thing, isn't it? It's always a Brucey when you win with 65 points. And his squad's okay. It's decent. You've got Hudson Barkley there, who you have to think are going to
Undoubtedly
fine. Aaron Jones seems to get everything in Minnesota at the moment. I know Mason got a touchdown last week, but outside of that,
he's actually his rosters would be as good as anyone's outside yours if he can get away with the receiver position. I mean, I'm sure he would really like McLaurin back, but he looks like he's struggling because otherwise, if Diggs is doing fine.
Yeah, he is.
Diggs is doing fine.
I mean, Parker Washington's very up, down.
Yeah.
But he had a bad week last week, so you got to think the good week's coming this week. See Drake London, by the way, do you know with Kirk Cousins as quarterback, he's never been a top 20 wide receiver any week with Kirk Cousins as quarterback. Never been a top 20 wide receiver.
and it's a problem for him at tight end as well with Pitts. He probably could do with finding some hot hand and waivers rather than Pitts.
I would agree. I would be shopping for a tight end if I was Graham. I'd have went shopping for a tight end when the window was still open. I'd have been knocking on like Mark's door and saying, "Give me Kelsey or Andrews," one of those two type thing. That's where I would have went. But most folk don't like to trade in division because it helps your divisional opponents. Unlike ours that seem to just pass them about willy nilly.
Yeah, we're just gung ho. Shit happens.
But yeah, I can very much see both these teams in the playoffs. But with 3 weeks to go, the Groty's pretty much there. He needs one more win. But Farks wants to get, he's got his division to go through, and it's not the best division this season. But there's still pitfalls there, and at 6-5, it's by no means guaranteed. So yeah, that was the North and the East. That was the North and East matchups, and I wouldn't like to count up how many wins over the 4 weeks the North had and how many wins the East have because, oh hey Joe, how you doing? Too many hot and cold weeks. That's exactly it. But yeah, it's very tight there, very tight in the division, and it looks like it's between Tartan Bears and Farts Flying Eagles, but never rule out Coping Badly Jets. And yeah, Ray's Ray, isn't he? He's going to score 70 or 80 points, 70 to 80 points, and if his opponent doesn't.
Need CMC and Puka to go mental each week, I think.
And in the north there, we've got Show Me the Packers, obviously up the top at 8-3, rolling. Factory of Sadness and Varsity Blues. I think it's just a matter of time before they get their wins to make the playoffs. And you're not dead in it yet, down at 4-7, but more than likely looking towards the consolations, So now we'll go to the South versus the West. And these games have been a lot tighter for all 4 weeks. We'll start off with the Madhouse G-Men, our very own Mr. Edwards, 78.74 against Kirkwall Raiders, 64.94. Again, doesn't quite tell the story. It looked like it was going to be a good bit closer than that along the way, But yeah, Alan took the swing on Jameis, thinking it's boom or bust there, isn't it? It was either going to be single digits or about 40 points. Unfortunately for Alan, it was single digits.
Absolutely.
And,
I mean, the South. The South's obviously a honking division. Let's be honest; it's the worst division in the league. Whereas Johnny's league, the West, it's a good division like ours. It's got it's good. Aaron and I are propping up these two divisions, but the other 6 teams are really quite good. Whereas the South, well, apart from Chris, not so good. But Johnny's
Johnny's got a great squad there. He really does.
Johnny maybe is. He's 6-5, which is maybe it's a bit false.
I agree.
He really could do with a second running back to emerge. He's got the receivers, that's for sure. It's just that second running back. But everyone's going to have to carry a player somewhere, I think, by the looks of it. So yeah, he's right.
It's a 16-team league. You're always having to carry something. I have to laugh that he had Michael Wilson as his auto sub, which did not pay off for him with Lad. I mean, he's got to win anyway, so it didn't matter. But Michael Wilson is a big. I think at 6-5, he's not in the playoffs yet. I think Michael Wilson is going to have a big say in getting Johnny there. Because with Harrison out at the moment, appendicitis, it's not going to miss many more weeks, but he's going to miss next week, that's for sure. So that's one that Johnny, I'm sure, will plug straight in there and play. And with Gibbs, Pickens, May, the points are there. So to beat Johnny, you're going to have to score kind of 90 plus, and that's very difficult. That's very difficult in this league. So yeah, as much as it's 6-5, he'll have a little bit of a sweat on. I think
but
with the squad that he's got there, and Alan's dead now. He's sold out as well. He's like you. He's sold. I mean, he gave me Lamb, for example. He gave me Lamb. I got Lamb off him, and he's got. Harvey and Mark's getting 10 points between them. They're going to get more points. They are the lead back for their teams now.
He's his roster's all right. Basil Tootin's coming into it as well. He's got JSN, who's just about the best receiver in football, isn't he, at the minute?
I mean, that's going to be that's his keeper next year, isn't it? For sure. JSN's going to be kept, you would imagine. And I mean, depending on what happens in the off season, maybe Cam Scatterby as well. So as much as he's 3-8 and dead, he might actually have two keepers for next year.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that's yeah, Madhouse G-Men kicking it on. Then we'll go to Sacked in the morning, and boys are back in town. I mean, after the draft, 110 points, 4-7, no more than you can expect, but still fighting, and in that division, it's especially still fighting. You know, and he's got the division to go through now. You could easily see Ross running the division there with Josh Allen at quarterback. I mean, 48 points. That's just
Classic,
silly.
classic example of Josh Allen winning a week on his own, which is he's one of the few players that's capable of that. Versus you see on the other side, the other guy that's capable of it at quarterback, Lamar Jackson, minus points, which I didn't actually appreciate it happened this week. And
It's
that's minging.
But before I get into Aaron's team, I just want to say congratulations to him. He got the keys to his house today, so he's officially a homeowner.
Ah,
Him and the
well
missus,
done, Aaron.
they picked the keys up today, so
Is
I
it
will
close to
be
you?
popping round to see that. Not far away, just about 10 minutes. It's just see, it's down somewhere down near the bottom of Broughton Street, down that way somewhere.
Oh,
I'm not
right, okay.
exactly.
Oh, nice,
I'm
nice.
not perfectly sure, but yeah, they picked up the keys today, so that's them officially homeowners.
Oh,
Front garden, we back garden, etc. You know, house instead of not flat. So
oh, lovely.
yes, he's quite excited about that. So congratulations to you, and I'm quite excited about that as well because it's nice to see him get on the property ladder and move forward. You know, but yes, he's whereas his team over here, we were playing snooker on Sunday and we were talking about it, you know, and I says to him, I told you about the running backs in this league. He said, I know, I panicked. So, you know, fair twos. He put his hands up and said he panicked in the draft, as he did. And he sold on Brees Hall in the end to Graham, which has made Graham a lot stronger, and he's only got a fourth for it. I get why he's done it. You know, he had to get something for him at the end of the day. So he's got something for him. And he's got to hope that Lamar Jackson kind of
Uh,
carries him through the
yeah,
consolation.
that's the only hope he's got. His roster stinks.
It
He's the
really
league bunny.
does, doesn't
He's the league bunny. I'm gonna take that title away from Graham now. Only just, by the way, we'll come to that. But he's the league bunny.
he is very much a league bunny, but as his first year, you know, and he is only learning
Absolutely.
the league. So bigger and better things next year. I think, I mean, if it can even just get one win in the consolations, you know, 1 week one, and that gets your top four pick, and that would be very handy for him. But the big question he's got is, do you keep Lamar next year, or do you let him back
No
into
chance. Nah,
the
let him
pool
go.
and go again?
It's a one quarterback league. You've got to let him go.
I would agree. I would say that that's exactly the move to make. I think the only quarterback I'd be looking at keeping right now would be Josh Allen, to be fair. So yes, I would say that the best move for Aaron is, but just keep going, keep ticking it over, and try and get that win in the playoffs. Get yourself a top four, and if you can win two, get yourself a top two. Evening, Chris. How are you? So yes, he's obviously struggling down there. But I mean, as we say for Ross, it's very much on for Ross. You know, Nico Collins can do something. Worthy's obviously got Mahomes thrown to him. Kenny Gainwell looks like he's getting some touches. So yeah, I'd be if he's got every chance of still, you know, sneaking up there if he wins all three. But if not, he's got some players that could win him a game in the consoles as well. You know, so that's another one for you to watch out for.
Absolutely.
And now we'll go on to now. I'm not being funny in this game, so this is we'll go on to Le'Veon and a prayer versus straight out of Hampton. 78.54 for Michael and his Le'Veon and a prayer against Graham's 59.64. Now, last week, right now, this is how fickle fantasy football is. This is how much things can change in 1 week. Last week, Graham's heading into Monday night football, and he's got Josh Jacobs and he's got Devontae Smith, and the game ends 10-7, and he needed about 18 points to win the game or whatever, or however many points he needed to win the game. I think it was about that. And they both got the touchdowns. There was 2 touchdowns in the game. One Devontae Smith, one Josh Jacobs. When he looked at that score in the morning, 10-7, he must have thought, I've lost. The 2 touchdowns, boom, he wins the game. This week, Devontae Smith gets 1 catch for 8 yards. And Josh Jacobs goes down injured in the first half with only 4 points. And boom, he loses the week. So those 2 players, sorry, Johnny, those 2 players won them last week and very much lost them this week.
I mean, Graham's got a good roster when you look at it. It's quite amusing that he's thrown in a pick for next year for Brees Hall. He clearly thinks it's on, which is funny, and maybe it is, but because of that division, he can win the division and sneak in the playoffs that way, not because he's got a good record.
Yes.
And he would be dangerous, but
Yes.
it's like
Well, win the division, I think.
but do you not do you not think for Graham it's like this league just doesn't like him?
It doesn't. It really hates him.
And
Everything he
it,
does in it turns to shit.
yeah, yeah, which I find quite funny.
That's cool.
It is, but it does seem like this league hates him because he's doing quite well in lots of other leagues, but this one just keeps biting him in the ass.
It does. But you know what? This league bit me in the ass for 10 years and then I
Oh,
finally got my
totally.
win and look what's happening now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, he's got nothing to worry about roster-wise. Uh, not at
Adding
all.
Brees Hall as well, I think was a great move for him because I think Brees Hall, he's now, yes, the Jets are dead. Yes, they're not doing anything, but Brees Hall's a free agent at the end of this year. He's got a contract to play for. He needs to play for his contract. So I can see him doing very well in the run in. And he's getting Jackson Dart back this week as well, who's obviously he's been hot for fantasy. So yeah, I think Graham will win the division, and he's obviously got Hampton coming back off IR as well. Let's not forget about that. He's due back in the next week or two. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's obviously a bad week. You got to shake it off. 59 points is never going to win you anything, but he's got a good squad there, and he's got 3 divisional games now to come. Great win for Michael, though, living on the prayer. Great win for him, put him 7-4 on top of Johnny's division because it is a tough division. So when you score 78 points and win, that really is a bonus.
yeah, he's got 78 points because of his kicker and his D. Because you scroll down the rest of the scores and it's like pretty average stuff, to say the least. But I mean, Justin Herbert had a Freudian slip there, but it was Jordan Herbert last week. He was that bad.
It was.
But Justin Herbert won't be that bad every week. He gets a bye to reset, although he does have some tough matchups to come. But Michael, it's been the same story. He'll get to the
I
playoffs
mean,
and lose.
he's got Aaron to. He's got. He's doing it different this time. He's not going to the playoffs as the #1 seed. So he's
That's true.
got
Well,
Aaron to
you
play
say
this week.
that
He's still got.
he could still be the #1 seed. He's 7-4.
It could be, and he's got, as I say, he's got Aaron to play still, so that's pretty much puts him in the playoffs. At 8 wins. So you got to think that's that he's definitely playoff bound once more. So again, someone to never take Michael lightly. Although his record of the first round in the playoffs isn't exactly hot, so I would be quite happy to be playing Michael in the first round, shall we say. But the squad's okay. He's got Bowers there who's going to get better. Williams is doing well, but it goes to show you how touchdown dependent this league is with it being non-PPR.
Totally.
None of his outfield. In fact, he has no touchdowns. Herbert didn't even have a throwing touchdown, so he literally has 0 touchdowns. And that's the difference between 78 points and 118 points. You know, they can get a few touchdowns on the board there as well. So touchdown dependent this league, and that shows it off well. And then finally, we'll finish off week 11 with Chris and his Bluetoon Patriots, 104 points, back over a ton, takes the lead in the division at 6-5, beating the Eskimo Brothers 91.82. Keeps Sean on 7 wins, and he's still got Aaron to go. So you have to think beating Aaron gets him 8, and that puts him in the playoffs. But yeah, a wee bloody nose for Sean, and Chris has put himself top of the division, and with the divisional games to go, it has to be favourite to win the division now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've just said Graham's going to win the division, so
I think he
you
will,
kind of
but I still think Chris is favourite.
well, Chris has got so he's got a steady quarterback. Goff's probably not going to let you down, and he's certainly capable of big weeks. He's got Kyron Williams, and he's got a hot hand in Trevian Henderson. So that's solid as. He's got Jefferson. Jamo Williams is obviously a bit up and down, but the last 3 weeks have been good. He's got Ricky Pearsall that's coming back, and I mean he did nothing last week because he's clearly not just quite right yet, and the Niners do still have their bye to come. But if Pearsall does get himself fit, he will be catching plenty of balls because he's the receiver that got all the off-season work. So
Yeah.
he's got a good starting unit there.
He does.
So yeah, he's
And
lively in the playoffs as well.
you're a wee bit worried with if Stevenson comes back, that Trevion, or do you think that they have to go with the hot hand
Well,
and the fact that he's had such good weeks?
I don't. For Abel's, I don't know that he'll not care. They seem to. I don't know. I'm not saying they love Stevenson, but he does seem to keep getting touches. I have no doubts that Stevenson will get touches, but the way the NFL's gone, that doesn't necessarily mean that Trayvon Henderson takes a step back either. I would
Well,
I
he's
would I would think Henderson, and Chris is saying the same. I think Henderson will be number one now. They invested a decent enough draft capital with him. They know what Stevenson is. So I think Henderson will be getting the good work and the bulk of it.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm actually. I mean, I'm quite big on Henderson. I've got him in a few places, especially dynasties, and but I genuinely think that they like you say, they love Stevenson. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Henderson's going to disappear, of course not. But I think it'll be more 50-50 than people think. I think it'll be a hefty share, I don't think it's going to be all one or all the other. But yeah, I mean, at 6-5, he's got to go into these last 3 games thinking playoffs very much on. And once you're in, anything can happen. Chris knows this. He's a former champion. So he knows how to get it done. And for Sean and his Eskimo brothers, I mean, it's been Sean usually makes a run at the end after being dead, from the beginning. He usually makes a run towards the end and it's too late. But certainly at 7-4, he's going to win one more game against Aaron, no doubt. So he's got to be thinking about the playoffs. But it's another squad, I've got to say, it's another squad I'd like to face in the playoffs.
yeah. Well, Caleb has obviously Caleb's doing away. He, but you look down the rest of it, and you can see why it's going to be in the playoffs for sure. But it's nothing to really be fearful of, especially at wide receiver.
For me, it's too dependent on Chicago, Las Vegas, and Jacksonville. They're the
Yeah,
3 teams that he's very, very dependent on. And whilst all 3 have been going, well, sorry, 2 of the 3 have been going very well this year. You don't see them finishing that way, do you? You don't see Jacksonville running to the finish. Everyone's just waiting on the Bears collapse happening, and I'm still convinced that they will collapse. I'm convinced that Chicago. I'll put it out there right now. What, they 7-3? I don't
uh,
think Chicago. I don't think Chicago will make the playoffs. In the top of our division at the moment at 7-3.
Are they? Am I right in saying that they keep winning close games?
Yes, yes, very much. I mean, they've had a blowout or two, I think, but yeah, no, they keep winning very close games. I mean, there you go, and they keep winning. They've won a couple of games this year, not because of what they've done, but because the other team cocked it up, a la this game against Minnesota. You know, where Minnesota really should have beat them in the end, but
Yeah,
blew it,
I mean,
blew it right the day.
they've got to play you twice, don't they?
They've got to play us twice, yes, that's correct. And they've still got
They've
to play the Lions and they've still got to play Minnesota. And I think they've got a tough one this week, if I'm not
no,
mistaken.
they don't.
They've,
They don't have the Vikings to play. Um, they
oh,
have got.
they've played them
They've
twice, so
just
they have.
played them. They've got the
Yeah,
Eagles. They've got the Eagles. They've got us. They've got the Steelers and the Browns.
they've got the Browns. Yeah. So, I mean,
The,
that's not going to, it's not an easy thing. I mean, Pittsburgh is a tough game because they're in the playoff hunt. You know, they are chasing the playoffs, so that's a tough game. Eagles, they're going to get battered. They'll get battered by us at Lambeau because you know we own them. The Browns is not an easy. It's at home at least, but it's a tough defense they're going up against. Then they've got us again, and then they'll get you, and then they'll get Detroit. So I don't see them winning any of those three games. I
a
don't see them
match.
beating us at home
The match
either. I don't
against
see them
us.
beating the Eagles.
I think the match against us will be pretty crucial for both of us. Is what I suspect will be the case.
I would agree, and I think they've got to beat Pittsburgh and they've got to beat Cleveland if they're going to certainly if they're going to top the division. So yeah, but at least they're in it, you know. And he's got but DJ Moore at the wide receiver. I think he'd be much more comfortable if that was Roma Doomsday. I think
But they're a bit
Brian
like
Thomas coming back as well. What's going on with Brian Thomas? I mean, is that him? Is he kind of
drops.
done now?
Just keeps dropping the ball,
I mean,
which
there's
is a
still
bit weird
stuff
after last
there.
season. It just doesn't make sense.
It just does
Really,
not look like a good wide. It doesn't look like a good wide receiver at all anymore. And my worry, it's not even this season. It's what's it going to be that next season. It'll be interesting to see where he's getting drafted and such next year. But I mean, a big problem he's got is the fact that I mean, Trevor Lawrence. Remember when Trevor Lawrence was drafted? He was like the
generational.
generational. I mean, he's not been
He's not
generational.
been. Yeah, he's not been. It just shows you how tough the NFL is.
It
Uh,
really is. You know, it's
it
the
doesn't
the
help. It
number
doesn't
one pick.
help that he's in Jacksonville and whatever else. But having said that, for
It
fantasy,
doesn't.
he's done away this season.
Yeah, I mean but it doesn't help that it doesn't help any of these number one quarterbacks coming in. You know, you get Cam Ward, you've got Bryce Young. You know, they went
Yeah.
to bad teams and they look bad quarterbacks. I almost feel sorry for the number one pick, to be honest with you. You know,
Well, yeah, and on the flip side, you get wee Brock that comes into like a good organisation. Uh, it's good for quarterbacks certainly before you start slagging us off. And he's and
it was good for quarterbacks in the 1980s.
no,
It's good for quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have been absolute rag
no,
for
but
a
what
whole
no
century.
no, but listen, what I mean what I mean, Craig, is Kyle Shanahan tends to be good for quarterbacks. Look, he's helped rehabilitate Darnold. He's helping rehabilitate Mac Jones. He's obviously
Come
given
on, you're
Brock
not
Purdy a
taking
career.
credit for Darnold. I didn't just hear you take credit for Darnold.
Well,
He
he's
was there for 5 minutes.
spent the season in the system.
But
Just,
it's yeah,
just
so
saying.
it's there you go. But yeah, Bluetooth, great win for Chris, as I say, and it puts them to the top of the division now. You know, the South Division's looking it's tight there, you know, but it looks between Chris and Graham, 6-5, 5-6. Then you've got boys are back in town 4-7, probably needing to win out. I mean, Chris is on a 3-game win streak as well. Let's not forget. So he's picking up just at the right time. And then Alan down there at 3-8 looks dead to the world. And down in the West is very very tight. You've got Eskimo Brothers and Le'Veon and Prayer both at 74, 7-4, and Johnny's Madhouse G Men there at 6-5, and Aaron plays too. But I mean, if you look at it, Johnny's 6-5 and the highest score, the best points for in the division. So that's a pretty
I
big
think,
thing, going into
see,
these games. And in fact, he's the second highest scorer in the league.
right, let's be quite clinical about this. So basically, you've got the three teams in the north should get in.
Yeah,
Then you've obviously got three other division winners get in, so that's six teams. You
yeah.
then are looking only for two teams. You've got two, seven, and four
Le'Veon and a
teams
pair
in the
of madhouse
west.
G-men.
So one of them's I think bound to get in, and then you've got Johnny, one of the ones in the east and one of the ones in the south. Graham's got his Graham's got his work cut out.
I think there's going to this could very easily turn out three teams from the north and three teams from the west getting in, and then the two divisional winners in between. But it could be that. The big thing that goes against that is the fact that we're all going to beat each other up over the next 3 weeks. Whereas Graham's got Graham and Chris. You've got to think if they win against Boys Are Back in Town and Cockwall Raiders, for example, that puts Chris on 8 wins and Graham on 7. Forget about the game between them.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
8 and that would be 8 and 7 there, and then
Doesn't matter what I
in the
do. I
east,
ain't getting in.
and in the east, you could easily see Tartan Bears and Farts Flying Eagles beating Copen Badley Jets and Batman's Boobies. That would put them both on 8 wins as well. So
Yeah.
it is very tough for the West. It's very tough for the West. I could easily see one of Grote or Sean not making it. Because one of them's going to lose to each other. If they lose to me as well,
No, but if they beat me, they're on 8 wins. They're in.
probably. But I mean, you could easily,
No, you're getting in. You're
you
getting
could
in with
easily
8
see
wins.
Tartan Bears and Fat Flying Eagles could easily be on 8 wins, and one of them will be on 9. If they both get to 8, one of them's on 9 because one of them has to beat each other. Then you've got Eskimo Brothers, Le'Veon and a Prayer, and Madhouse G-Men. They can't all go to 8 wins.
Have people
Oh, they
lost
can
out with
go.
8 wins before?
I don't think so. I think 7.
I,
I think 7's always got in, but
I,
but usually 7 gets in with like 3 or 4. There's 2 or 3 teams on 7. Maybe one of them doesn't get in. But yeah, 8 wins is. If you didn't get in with 8 wins, that would be a worry. But you could easily see it happening here. It's because the north, just the way that it's went with the south and the east being a little bit lackadaisical this year, and the north and the west being pretty strong. I could see 8 wins not making it.
I'm just consulting my spreadsheet to see what the script
Something.
is. 8 and 6, 8 and 6, 7 and 7. 7 and 7's got in last year, but a 7 and 7 didn't get in as well. 8
Yeah,
and
that's
6,
usually what happens.
8 wins. 7 and 7 not getting in 2023. 8 wins gets you in.
8 wins should get you in, but there's mathematical ways for
Oh
8
no,
wins
here we
not to
go.
get you in this year.
Oh no, 8, 8, 8. 8's always got you in.
8 should get you in, but it'll start to take shape over the next It'll be interesting to see how we're heading into week 14. That's for sure. But week 12 is up next. You and I, Mr. Baxter. You and I. Have
Yeah,
you
I
got
mean,
any hopes of? Have you
no,
got any hopes of
I'm gonna get
stealing a shocker?
I'm gonna get absolutely pumped. I'm just looking back. What refresh me? Up until 2020, there was only 13 regular season games.
Yeah, it might be because that's when we went 17 games, wasn't it? That's when we went
Ah,
17
right,
games in
okay.
18 weeks.
Yeah, so there's only 4 years of history with 14 regular season games. Anyway, 8 and 6
Yeah.
always gets in.
8 and 6 will get in.
It will.
I would
It
be
will.
very shocked if someone gets 8 wins and doesn't get in. Then they can feel themselves
Yeah.
very hard done to.
Anyway, yeah, week 12, yeah, you'll beat me at a canter. I have got
You would like to think.
I've got Brian Robinson and Tony Pollard at running back. I mean, I'm getting nothing there. So
I do
yeah,
have Aitan and Nick's on bye week, but that's me just clutching. Really, it's I will be very upset if I don't beat you. That's
oh,
for sure. But the big one in our division, that's not us. The big one in our
yeah,
division's Factory against Varsity Blues. That's going to be a slobber knocker, shall we say?
toss a coin. Uh, winner is after number one seed. Uh, loser will still be fine, but yeah, that's about winning the division really for the winner there.
Listen, you say loser will be fine, right? You say loser will be fine, but if Sean comes out and beats Groty this week, right? Groty's got to play me next week. So, and I've got my full team back, barring injury. So, if Sean beats Groty this week and then Groty goes into Mag and then loses to me next week, all of a sudden he's heading into the game with you in the final week at 7-6. And we've
Yeah,
already discussed how
yeah,
eight's
but right, yeah, but do you know what? See in week 14. Oh, well, to be fair, I do have Lawrence. I was going to say Purdy's on a bye, Tet's on a bye, my tight end's on a bye. I've got issues there. So
yeah.
he'll be fine. He'll beat me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think, of course, I'm pretty confident it'll be fine as well. And once you get in, you're in. But I would say you don't want that. You don't want those sleepless nights. You don't want your bum cheeks to be going that hard going into week 14. So I would say it's a big game for. I would say it's a bigger game for Groty than it is for Sean because Sean gets you next week. So if Sean was to lose
Yeah.
this week, he wins next week and he's in it anyway, and he doesn't need to worry about the final week. So I would say it's a bigger game for Groty than it is for Sean. But yeah, we're that's the North games, and then it's the big one in the South as well. The big one in the South. Oh no, sorry, the East. The top two, Tartan Bears are playing Flying Eagles, both at 6 and 5. You would have to think that the winner of that game, hefty favourite for the division at that point, because you would one more win from the bottom two. So that's a big game of the East, and then of course Cope Badley Jets and Batman's Boobies. I mean, the winner of that's still fighting. The winner of that's got a good chance, especially if it's Mark at 5 and 6. If Cope Badley Jets can get the win there, it puts them
Yeah.
in the fight. Because obviously one of Fart's Flying Eagles and Tartan Bears are going to be losing, so it would put them in a tie for second at that point. So big games in the
Well,
East.
it's must win, right? So it's must win for Mark. I think Ray's out of it. The 4 and 7s can't do it.
No, I
It-
agree.
it- yeah, so that's must win for Mark.
And it's must wins as well in the south for both Bluetown Patriots and Straight Out of Hampton. They're playing the bottom two. Straight Out of Hampton's got Boys Are Back in Town, so the harder game. Bluetown Patriots got Kirkwall Raiders. But the two of them, if they both they're setting themselves up for their match being the divisional title
Yeah,
chat.
so
And it could be winner gets wins in, losers out. So
yeah, I mean,
it can't flip up here.
you would say that it's must win for Graham, but but if Chris loses and Graham lose, that obviously pulls Ross back into it because you've then got 6 and 6
Back
and two
into it.
and five and 2 and 5 and 7. So someone's got to win that league. It's like the NFC South. Someone's
Yes.
someone's got to win it and qualify. I mean, you could find that someone's getting in with 7 and 7 out of that division uh, by virtue of winning it.
Well, we'll get in virtue of winning it, but I do think only one's going to come out of that division, So
Oh, yeah,
I do
I would
think
agree.
that if Ross beats Graham and Alan, if Ross beats Graham, he could be handing it to Chris
Yeah,
because I don't see. But I mean, Alan's got some players there as well, but I don't see Chris losing to Alan and his Kirkwall Raiders. So I think if Ross was to come out and Graham has another bad week and Ross gets a win against them, I think that's kind of handing the division to Chris, but for entertainment purposes, we want Straight Out of Hampton and Bluetown Patriots to win that because we want their matchup to be the divisional decider.
Yeah.
And then down there at the bottom, Johnny's got the bye this week. He's got sacked in the morning, so he could not have had a better game to kick off the final round of the divisional matchups the way it's worked out, because Eskimo Brothers and Levion na Prayer, obviously one of them's got to lose, so one of them's going to be 7-5 next week. Johnny should be 7-5 next week, so that should move him up a little bit. And if he does beat Aaron Sacked in the morning, then he only needs one win against Eskimo Brothers or Levion and their prayer to make sure that he gets in.
Yeah,
And that's one team
absolutely.
I would be quite happy to see Johnny team. Sorry, Johnny, but I would be quite happy to see Johnny's not make it, because not only is it a cracking squad, and it's the second highest scoring squad of the season so far. But John, once Johnny gets a sniff of it, he tends to, he'll float along, float along, and then see when he gets a wee sniff of the title, and he goes, and he must be chapping at the bit. It's been since year three. Year three was his second title, and he's not had one since. So yeah, I would love nothing more than Johnny to lose it and miss out on the playoffs. Sorry, Johnny, but I do not see it happening.
No, I mean, if one of Sean or Michael's getting to 9 wins, you would think then you've got the two teams on 8 and 6, and they both get in.
That's exactly. I mean, I would not be surprised if it's 3 North and 3 East. That would not surprise me in the slightest. 3 West, sorry. That
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And then the two divisional winners. But when you're beating each other up like that, only takes Graham to, as I say, if Graham wins these two against Cope Badley Jets and the Boobies, he's on 8 wins. If Joe wins against Cope Badley Jets and the Boobies, he's on 8 wins. Doesn't matter what happens in their game. So yeah, I do see that there is going to be one really good team missing out this year, because the
uh,
South's got to have a win.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, week 12 in the bag, week 11, sorry, in the bag. We're into week 12 now. First games tonight. Don't forget to do your teams, everyone. And so you're a little bit more comfortable with what's going on in San Francisco now.
No. Uh,
No.
well, right, but look, basically, it boils down to now the offense has to carry the team. The offense is pretty fit now. Uh, it's it's a minor niggle that the kicker's gone down when he was doing so well, but I'm not sure what the latest is and who they're bringing in. But the offense has to go and get 30 points every week, and if they do that, we should get the playoffs. We've got 3 winnable matches in the next 3 matches. If we win them, we're then on 10 wins. We're probably then there regardless.
I think 10 wins gets you in.
But can the offense go and get 30 points or so each week? I do think that once we get in, I think we come up against a good playoff team on the road. Yeah, I just think that even like Warner's replacement who took the mic, Tatum Bethan, he's gone down now. So it's don't get me wrong. Once you're into replacements of replacements, it's probably not quite as big an impact. And Sal needs. I think he's done quite well, but Sal obviously needs to go and find a scheme. Our pass rush is non-existent, and if you go into the playoffs with a non-existent pass rush, really, I don't. How much damage are we going to do? So the schedule is helping keep our heads above water at the minute, but we're just kind of, I don't know. The
Yeah,
Cardinals
I
made
hear
us
you,
look
Chris.
good.
It worries me. It worries me, Chris. It really does. He's saying they're
Uh,
Patriots for the Super Bowl.
it's
It's
why.
starting to
Do you know
worry
what?
me
It's
that they
why
are a team
it's
again.
it is absolutely wide open. I don't get some of the odds on teams. I
I do.
think I don't get why the Patriots are still so short, because the Patriots are not even close to a lock to make the playoffs. Uh,
Patriots.
no, sorry, the Chiefs. The Chiefs. I've got the Chiefs on my brain about it. I can't just. The Chiefs are
I mean,
still one, two, 1, 2, 3. The Chiefs are still about fourth favourites for the Super Bowl. or something.
I get that though. Honestly, I still think no matter what, Indianapolis have been fantastic this year. New England have been fantastic this year. And it's going to be Buffalo or Baltimore against Kansas in the AFC Championship game. Denver have been really good this year. The Chargers have been really good this year. And it's going to be Buffalo or Baltimore against Kansas in the AFC Championship game. That's my prediction. These teams turn up when it gets to the business end.
I get that, but the Chiefs are 5-5. They're going to have to go some. They're certainly going to have to win their divisional matches.
I just don't see how they don't get in, and when they get, 10-7 is going to get them in. They need 5 more wins. I don't see how they don't get 5 more wins. And when they get in, and it gets to playoff time, Mahomes turns up.
I get it, but still, they're losing all their close matches now, and they've gone from winning all their close matches last season to now they can't win a close match. And I don't know that that's a good sign. Anyway, I couldn't back them at those prices. The Patriots are 18-1. I have not touched them. Haven't had any money on them.
No, me neither.
But it's wide open.
I mean, of course they could. It's for me, the Patriots. It's too early for the Patriots this year. It's I don't. They're a very good side in that, and Drake May does look the real deal. Henderson, I think, looks fantastic as well. I think he'll do really well, but I still just think that they're not quite there yet. I really do. Let's not forget they are where they are because they've got a division that holds Miami and the Jets. You know what I mean? The Dolphins and the Jets that's 4 wins guaranteed.
My biggest results would be the Eagles and the Rams, and they're now the 2 favourites. And I just think I've thought for some weeks that they're the strength of the league, and I think for you guys as well. I think you'll end up like us. I think you'll squeak into the playoffs, but I think once you're there, I don't know. But on the flip side, I think you've got a defense, but there's something not right with your offense. I don't know if it's the line. I don't know if it's LaFleur. I don't know if it's the O-line. I don't know if it's Love. Maybe a combination of all of it. But it's not.
I don't think it's LaFleur. I think LaFleur's just as good a coach as any out there. I really do. I don't think it's I think it's a line, to be honest with you. I don't think the line's quite. And it's Jordan Love. It is Jordan Love. He's not been good this year. There's no getting away from it. Now, when Rodgers came in for Favre and he had that season and he threw up and in his first season in the playoffs, it was like 110 all against Arizona going into overtime. It was such a high scoring game, and he tossed up that stupid interception with one of the first plays in overtime, gave the ball straight back to him straight away. And I was, he's rubbish. We need to get rid of him. We need to be done. So I'm very, very wary about doing the same thing with Jordan Love, But I would be lying if I said I wasn't worried about just how great he's going to be, But when you go from one great quarterback to another great quarterback, it's, to another great... What teams ever went from one great quarterback to another great quarterback to another great quarterback, Very difficult to do.
Totally.
But I do think that we are more than capable of going on the road and winning in the playoffs, because I very much believe that we are very capable of doing that if Jordan Love can get his stuff together, or if the line can get stuff together, the offense can get stuff together. I don't think it helps he's got nobody to throw to. And not that he's got nobody to throw to. He's got lots of guys to throw to, maybe too many options to throw to. You want that alpha. He doesn't have an alpha.
He doesn't. I genuinely think that losing Kraft is huge, because Kraft was looking like George Kittle. I really like him, that. And I think he is a proper big loss. I think he was Love's best target. I think the drop off to Musgrave's not even looking like he's your first tight end. He was kind of almost third choice tight end last weekend. So I don't know what's happening there.
Minus 0.1 he got for me, and because I brought him in, I had with Warren on buy, I brought him in and showed me the money. Minus 0.1. So yeah, that disappointed me. I have to say, I was more higher on.
What's the crack with Jaden Reed? When's Reed back?
Back very soon, apparently. We might see the fabled Marshawn Lloyd very soon.
Surely not. You need Jaden Reed back. You've got no yak. You need some yards after the catch, and Reed can do that. Dobbs is a funny one. He was dropping a lot of balls last weekend.
I think Watson is the main. Watson will be the main man. I really do believe Watson will be the main man, if he stays fit, because he's a long ball threat as well. You know that's he's going to get yards and he's going to get scores. I think, but yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about making the playoffs per se, not yet. But we have some hard games coming up. You know, we've got
Oh,
we've
you
got a
do.
hard,
You've
hard
this is yeah. I mean, I'm saying you squeak into the playoffs, but you're going to have to. You're going to have to win some matches. You're relying on the Bears being your bunnies because you've still got the.
next
Which let's
Thursday's a
just
big
get it
one.
up. What?
Thanksgiving, Detroit, in Detroit. That's
You see,
that's a big one for me.
see the thing about your division is you've still got a lot of divisional matches to play, whereas the NFC West, we've played a lot of our divisional matches. So
Yeah,
uh, I think we've got the Seahawks left, but that's our only divisional match. Whereas you all have to cut each other up. Um,
a little bit. Yeah,
so that's what
I,
might help us as well. But you've got the
I
Broncos
think that
and the
helps us.
Ravens.
I think it helps us because we have bossed that division. Bar last year, we have bossed that division for so long now. I think the big one for us, as I say, is Detroit and Detroit next Thursday. I don't see how the Vikings. We don't beat the Vikings this weekend. If we were to lose to the Vikings this weekend, I would be really worried that we're not going to make the playoffs with the games that we've got to come. But I think that we beat the Vikings. I think that we beat the Bears twice.
Well, your next three matches are huge because two of them are at home. They're three divisional matches. Two of them are at home. Your last four matches, three of them are on the road. So
Yeah.
it just gets to that bit tougher.
As I say, I mean, I could easily see, I can see all permutations for us this year. I can see us winning the division. I can see us not winning the division, but making the playoffs quite comfortably. And I can see us missing out in the playoffs entirely. I really can, because it could easily fall apart. You know,
Who's your
we've lost to the Panthers. Do you think the Panthers is a banana skin for you this week? I mean,
yes?
they've been sneakily winning games.
It's trappy. It's a Monday night. It being a Monday night hopefully helps, but it's a trappy sort of match. I think every match is a banana skin for us at the minute. But in theory, I think Purdy back should make enough of a difference. I just can't. Mac Jones did fine. He really did, but at the same time, he's not as good as Purdy. So yeah, it's a bit trappy, but hopefully we'll be okay. Listen, on a bit of karma before we finish up, who's kicking for you this weekend?
Heaven knows. Me, maybe, if I can get over there in time.
Honestly, after all your Jake Moody chat, that's
I know.
exactly what you deserve. But I mean, it's been bad. Oh.
It was karma, wasn't it? It was the
Do you see?
kickeritis move from San Francisco to Green
Do you,
Bay.
do you see Jake Moody's ended up back with Debo Samuel again? He's at the
Is
Commanders.
he in Washington now?
Yeah.
Uh, he
Because
went,
to
where
be
else was it? Where did he go first? He was kicking
Bears,
for some.
the
I
Bears.
thought it was the Bears. Yeah, I thought it was the Bears.
I wondered if he would come back to us, but anyway, he's not.
Well, that's I was going to say. You bringing Moody back, but yeah, it's a big week for us this week in the sense that I think these games are bigger. These games where you really should be winning at this stage are bigger than the ones where they're kind of
Yeah,
50-50, you know. Because if you
you've got
lose
to win.
this one, then it's disaster type thing, you
Yeah,
know. And it's the same. I think it's very much the same for you guys as well. And I think your ones is a wee bit harder because the
we
Panthers
we
have been sneakily winning and.
we need to. So I mean, it's at home, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it's at Levi, I think, because we've got.
Levi,
Uh,
yes, that Levi.
so it should be fine because it's at Levi. We've got the Browns. We're at the Browns, which again should be okay. Miles Garrett aside, but Miles Garrett is obviously that damn good. And then we've got the
You
Titans at home.
no need to
It's
score much against Cleveland to beat them.
it's then so that if we could win those three, that puts us on the 10. We've then got the Colts, the Bears, and the Seahawks. Well, the Seahawks are at home, right enough, but yeah, we'll go and win all 6 of them, to be honest, and then we'll be laughing.
Indeed, indeed. Anyway, Mr. Baxter, it's been fun. It's week 11.
Yes.
It's gone. There are divisional games to come, and then we hit the playoffs. So it's playoffs round the corner. Means Thanksgiving's coming. Thanksgiving next week, which is always good for the Thursday night games. And we shall be back next week to review week 12 and see what happens in our game.
And in between them, we've got the first Ball of the Ashes tonight, which I'm sure you'll be excited by.
Was that the Ashes coming? Oh, for goodness sake.
Starts
It's
tonight.
in Australia, though, so it's during the night. Who cares?
Starts in a couple of hours' time, Craig. You got to watch the first couple of overs.
Well, we're cutting off now, Douglas, because I'm a Celebrity's on in 7 minutes, and I got to go up the stairs before the wife starts shouting at me.
I'm not watching that guff.
There's the Traitors fan.
No, that's much better. That is miles better. You cannot compare them. Jesus Christ, Craig.
But I will go and watch I'm a Celeb all the same, and then I'll not be watching the game tonight because I've got too much to do and work tomorrow. But I'll look forward to Sunday.
Yeah, grand. Right. Catch you soon.
Good luck, everyone, in week 12. We'll see you next week.
Cheers. Bye, everyone. Johnny's putting the kids to bed, so we've just to leave. We've just to leave.
Good night, everyone.